everyone. Okay, so I stayed home. Well, I didn't stay home. I went grocery shopping, but I got no makeup on my face because I didn't want to put any makeup on because I didn't really need makeup. So whatever. I just finished this book, Louisiana Hurricane 1860 by Kathleen Duey, and I gotta say, I did not like this book. I did not like this book in its entirety. Like, not to say that I didn't like the time frame of this book. I've read books in the 1800s, and I did read a book. Where is it? This book here, Darkest Hour by V.C. Andrews, is set in the same time frame of like all this hoop skirts, and we're in Louisiana State. What? I don't know what the state is, where New Orleans, I think New Orleans, and like the bayou swamps and all that. I think it's Louisiana State. If I'm wrong, let me know. Just don't be arrogant about it, because I literally don't know. But I did read, and I love these books. I loved this. So it's not to say that I didn't like the clothing or the time frame of like, and it's literally during the time of like just before Lincoln was elected president. So it's around that time, and I have no problem with it. But I did not like the story, the plot, all of that. Well, the plot would have been interesting had it been more fleshed out, maybe older, like the characters are older. This is a young adult, so there's that. But yeah, it felt way too short, and by the time we got to where Madeleine and Francois actually were, you know, in love and such, it was about the last third of the book. The last third of the book is when the actual romance was starting to blossom and such, and like the back here compared to what I actually read didn't feel like it matched up really well, but the second paragraph, that matched up really well. But then like the first part, like the lower half of it, did not feel like it matched what was in the book. It just it didn't feel as fleshed out as it could have been, because I could have loved this book, but I didn't feel it was very fleshed out. Even, I have read short young adult books like this, and they feel very fleshed out. They feel very full and stuff like that, but not this book. And Madeleine and Francois, they didn't feel very fleshed out either. They, like, again, their love didn't really fully blossom until the last third of the book. And I wanted it to be at least, if you're gonna have a love interest, you're gonna want to show that real growing blossoming of this love. And at the time, like, it's a lot of sort of like love at first sight type of thing. And if you're going to, especially during that time, or it more than likely excuse me, happened a lot, you want it to be like, to start at the beginning of like the second third of a book at least. If not, you start in the beginning half of the book. Yeah. Now, her parents were interesting. They stuck to the way Kathleen wrote for them, like their character, the way they acted and all that such. They stayed very well, and that was good. And also our villain of the story, which is intended husband of Madeleine, and he stayed true to his character. He's an arrogant, wealthy son, and his arrogance didn't come out because, one, he was more than likely trying to impress the parents, and two, very much wanted, trying to show like a very nice side of himself for Oh my god, my nose. I must have, excuse me. Oh, I seriously must have cut it with my nail or something because it hurts. But anyway, you know, sometimes guys of this day and age would, and even later, like into the 90s, the 1900s, is that they would be very, very nice at the beginning. And then literally after they're married, they get, and like sometimes literally on the wedding night, but it would, more than likely, it would be like after their wedding night, that they turn into arrogant, mean sons of bitches. Yeah. Well, something, you know, the plot device of the story, he becomes the arrogant bastard that he is. So yeah. I enjoyed those three characters staying true to their characters, but because the story was not a bit longer, a bit more fleshed out, and like there's more stuff to it, it didn't feel like the Francois and Madeleine. They didn't feel, I don't know, it didn't feel good. But we also have another characters that we get to read about, and they're servants. They are Gabriel and Celia. They're married, and they just had a son. And I enjoyed their chemistry quite well. They felt quite fleshed out, and we are obviously after their wedding and after they've had a son. Well, not just a son, but like their first child. And they felt really good. I liked it. So I liked all of the like more side characters rather than, you know, the two main characters you're supposed to basically are like supposed to like, and supposed to be like, I've fallen in love with them, I love them so much, they're so great as characters, but in fact they weren't. So this is definitely not a keep book for me of all aspects. Yeah. And apparently this is part of like a sort of series. Like there's a bunch of books that have like the year on it. And I believe I told you, I may have said this when I was doing my earlier books by Cameron Doki of the Once Upon a Time retelling series. They don't really have a title for this series, but this is the 5th book in the series technically. And there's Hindenburg 1937 by Cameron Doki, San Francisco Earthquake 1906 by Kathleen Duey, The Great Chicago Fire 1871 by Elizabeth Massey, Washington Avalanche 1910 by Cameron Doki, this book, and apparently coming soon, according to the publication date of this book, Pearl Harbor 1941 by Nancy Holder. So they're just a lot of more historical kind of books, like these big things that happened, like the Great Chicago Fire, especially Pearl Harbor. I'm guessing they're just writing a love interest that happened within like these sort of like big prevalent things that happened. Though I don't know how this is a big prevalent thing. It is happening around the time of when Lincoln might go like try to, what is it? This is a poor word, but audition to become president? Or no, get elected to become president there. It's before that time where he's like, I'm putting my name in to be president, and then that whole like voting situation and all that, and then he becomes president. So it's a 3-step sort of process. It's that before that first step, and then like there's 2 hurricanes that happen, and then like literally at the end of the book, like the last 3 chapters, there's a 3rd hurricane that happens, which it's like a mini hurricane. It's apparently hurricane season, but yeah. I don't know how this book is part of like these sort of historical type of situations that happened in America. But anyway, yeah, I'm not keeping this. And I don't really want to recommend it. Though, if you do enjoy this era of like the luxurious Creole world of French food, meadow picnics, and silk gown veranda parties, and wearing big hoop skirts, and sort of like just before, like, you know, around Lincoln's era, just before like the Union War, and like the big war that happened between the North and the South of America. If you like that, you can go read this. It's interesting. It's got the whole like black servants on a plantation and all that sort of jazz, and clothing, and like the way people dress and acted and such. You can read it if you want. I'm not really going to recommend it because I didn't really fully enjoy it. So yeah, my next book is the first book in a series, and it's a 5-book one, and it's called In Go by Helen Dunmore. Because I got this from my aunt, and she got it from working at a bookstore. So I guess, you know, you take the front cover off when you want. Usual bookstores will take the front cover off, like, see this? They would have taken this off and be like, hey, like, sent it back to the publishing house and be like, hey, we want more of this book, and that sort of such. That's how it works. So this is my next book, and I still have not, I've gotten no email for getting my interlibrary loan. I'm still waiting. Haha, okay. Yes, that's the next book. I've got 24 chapters in here, and there's no prologue or epilogue. So I'm gonna read the back of this. I've never read this before, and this is completely new for me, but I'm starting a new series. Lovely! A cold shiver is creeping over my skin. I know where Connor's gone. Sapphire and her brother Connor live an idyllic life in Cornwall, England. They are free to explore the beautiful cove near their cottage, where they swim and play together. It is their own special place. I'm just checking the battery and the time. Then, one terrible day, things change in a way they could never have predicted. Why does Connor keep disappearing for hours on end? And who is the mysterious girl with long, dark hair talking to him on the rocks? Following him down to the cove one day, Sapphire discovers, why would you do that? Sapphire discovers an enchanted world she never knew existed. Soon, she begins to let go of all the things she loves and cares about as she becomes intoxicated by the dangers and excitement of In Go. Yeah, so yeah, this is gonna be interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna be starting this, and this I can start reading this because this is the first book in this In Go series, and I will have the link to her stuff down below, and yeah, I'll have, because there's a website for this, so I'll link that down below, which will have all the books and all the other books by Helen Dunmore. So I'm gonna get going. It's kind of dark, and I need to go get the laundry I have sitting out, and I gotta finish this. It is this lovely cream cheese chocolate chip dip that I make, and everybody loves it. So anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, you can hit that the like button down there below. And if you've read any of these year books, let me know which ones you liked down below. Just be free. I don't really care. You can tell me what you liked, and go ahead. It'd be interesting. Just don't be negative. Don't be nasty, because we don't need that in the world, okay? We don't need it. And if this is the first time you're watching my video, please hit that big red subscribe button down there by my picture for more book reviews, hauls, unboxing, unbagging, because some things come in a bubble wrap manila envelope or a plastic bag wrapped thing, vlogmas, random vlogs, and random videos I have no idea where to categorize. Alright, as I said, I need to go. So, I will see you all in my next video. I don't know what that's going to mean. Bye everyone.